I've gotten some commentaries or comments over the last couple of years from people identifying themselves as Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, even Asian, Arab, Hindu, saying they're not a part of the black family. They don't have any connection to us, that kind of thing. And I've gotten black people saying the same thing. Now, maybe George Lopez is not a great picture to use, but let's be honest. You can't put two white people together and make a dark skinned person. Okay? Now, here it is. George Lopez is a dark skinned Mexican, right? And if you ever watch his talk show or listen to George Lopez, it seems like he's kind of, I wouldn't say obsessed, but he's always curious about what people are mixed with. Now, part of me says that maybe he wants to bust those people out there who deny who they are. Because this one brother out here, I forget his name, Carlos something, he did a series of videos where he was, and some other brothers and sisters who are Mexican, Native American, who have pointed out that they dark skin, full lips, large nose in some cases, and certain things culturally do come from the black community. And you should see all the hate messages these people get because they know the truth. Unfortunately, there are those within the black community who have bought into certain things. I hear brothers and sisters want to talk about we need to get rid of the one drop rule. I don't think you should, because once you get rid of that, a lot of brothers and sisters will definitely start saying that there's something they're not, or trying to associate with a group of people who have been a part of the process of destroying our culture, our community. Now, I remember when George Lopez did an episode of his show, we had the Kardashian sisters on there. They was talking about their shapes, especially Kim. Now, I keep saying to our brothers and sisters, Kim Kardashian is not a white woman, okay? She is a woman of color. You don't get those characteristics if you are a white woman. Now, there have been some white women who have similarities, but not that exact, okay? And also, if you notice, Kim Kardashian has never been a white man. Brothers and sisters, I had to break it to you. Wasn't it Chris Humphries? He is not white. He's of mixed ethnicity. His father's black. His mother's white. Watch when you let their hair grow out. Watch when you let their beard grow out. I'm telling you, look at them closely. But see, the last 20 years, maybe 15, people in the media have really did a mind screw on people of color. I mean, it's been going on for 500 more years, but there's been this push to say, okay, anybody who's of color is considered a minority because they can get benefits. We can use them to keep the niggas in check. And they can reap the benefits without really bothering us or anything because it's already been put in place. But when it comes time that we need you to separate yourself from the black community, they do it with the quickness. How many black pastors have we heard over the years say our brown brothers and sisters, our Mexican brothers and sisters, our Asian brothers and sisters, and those very same men and women who share very close genetics with us, culturally things with us, they turn around and stab us in the back. On my very first channel, I had got a bunch of Asian and Mexican people. At least they say they were, and I have to be careful not to assume because, you know as well as I know, there are people who false flag or put phony counts up, believe deceptive comments saying they somebody else when actually they're either trolls or racist trolls. But anyways, I just noticed how everybody at one time, if y'all ask your parents and grandparents who were adults or the 70s and 60s and you know that kind of thing, they can tell you there was a time in this country's history that those who consider themselves Asian or Mexican or Cuban was calling themselves black. Remember that song that James Brown had, "Say It Loud, Black, I'm Proud"? Well, a lot of people of color were saying that. Now, there was some white people saying it because, you know, it was a catchy tune. But people was actually going around saying, "I'm a black man." But it was out of favor by the late 70s. Because they had started assimilating to American culture. You start seeing some on television, some in politics. It wasn't until the 80s until black people started getting in office that we started opening the doors, letting them in. And once those brothers and sisters got in trouble or were set up in some cases or even murdered, they came in, they took their spots. Now if you turn on your local television, you see nothing but Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, and Cubans in positions of authority. And I have no problem with that. But it's at the expense of our people. But when they get their ass handed to them, they get that nigga moment, like we all do at some point, guess what happened? They run right back to the community. They want to play that brother-sister shit. This is why I say I have problems with people saying they have the same issues as us, but yet they've never they never stood with us or stay standing with us. Right now, if I was to go on the southwest side of town and drive through a Mexican neighborhood or even get out my car and try to go into locations at night, chances are I'm going to be shot or I'm going to get beat up or robbed. Now, that's not exaggeration. That's truth. Well, let me go up there on the north side around Fullerton and Keeler and get out and go around with some of the Puerto Ricans. Watch what's going to happen. See, sometimes we don't like to hear the truth. Sometimes we want to pretend that, if we keep praying that they might just snap out of it. Like I said, not all have this mindset. And sometimes some brothers and sisters, they know what's going on, but they're too afraid to say anything or they play the game. But I've worked with those different ethnicities. I've served in the military with them, went to school with them. I know at some point they're going to stab you in the back. I'm not saying all, but enough have. If you read some of the comments out here about us, you'll see it. When that stuff with Cat Williams happened, at least I believe it's Cat, yeah. How many Mexican men and women was calling us niggers on YouTube and their channels wasn't false flag or taken down? But the moment we started speaking up for ourselves and even refer to any racial slurs, our channels were false flag or voted down or taken down altogether. When those Cuban girls went on that rant about black people, videos still out here on YouTube. Were they channel taken down? Were the videos or copy videos taken down? No. There was one guy made a channel calling me out my name because I called him out. Never called him out their name, but just he was cursing me out, called me all kinds of what. Making death threats. And some of my subscribers or some of you probably saw it and y'all said that's wrong. And some went there and backed me up, and some just stood there and had a hearty chuckle. No other group of people of color who have close connection to us is going to turn around and support us. Oh, I almost forgot. It's another group of people of color out here that tend to really, really cut our throats. Hindus. Just as dark as us in some cases, maybe even darker. Think that we're evil, that we're not to be trusted. Other day, me and my aunt had stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts, right? My aunt is single. I mean, we're not that far apart. I look at her more like a big sister than anything. And this Hindu dude was just flirting with her. He didn't know if I was a nephew, boyfriend, best friend, nothing. Didn't know. He was just flirting. I'm just, hi. My aunt was laughing with him, and part of me wanted to say, hey, aunt, don't. This is disrespectful. And I'm assuming these little girls was there were his daughters or friends of the family. They was looking at him with disdain. And I never said nothing. I just thought, I kept it to myself. But I'm like, they have a love-hate with our people. They love our women but hate black men. They don't want us fuck with their women, but they'll mess with ours. Hell, they didn't even kill their daughters for being with black men. It was a Hindu woman that was killed. I think it was about maybe 4 years ago, if that, maybe even 5. And I think she lived in Oak Forest. And I think her father had burnt down the apartment she lived in because she was with a black man. His American-born daughter was with a black man. I mean, this guy had a nice job. He respected her, but that still wasn't enough. See, I laugh at some of our people when we sit here and give people of color a pass or don't call them out on their hypocrisy or they self-hate. Black people say, well, they're not a part of us. Yes, they are. You like there's various shades of white skin tone. There's various shades of black, brown. Excuse me. And see, I got to quit using the term black. See, even I'm a victim of that being programmed to use certain terms. When I hear people of color use the word nigger or call us nigger, I'm like, have you looked in the mirror? Don't you know where you come from? You share our DNA. But then they said, well, scientists said I'm mixing this. Of course, they broke us into groups. This is why I get pissed off when blacks say, I'm Native American, I'm part Cherokee. But guess what? The very same people that you claim you are, they have some of our brothers and sisters in slavery. Or they deny us. Remember last year, the Cherokee Nation, somebody denied those blacks that they were Cherokee? But we under the misnomer that blacks came all here in slavery. No, blacks are already here. We created civilization. At one time, the land, the places we call America, South America, Africa, it was all connected. People traveled. People made boats. People explored. We wasn't just one region of the planet. I mean, come on. Really think about it. George Lopez, look at his skin tone. Where can that skin tone have come from? Here it is. I've seen dark-skinned black people have very light-skinned children or blue-eyed children, or hair same textures like a George Lopez, but they still considered black. But the last 15 years, there's been this redefinition of who is black and who is not. We see a lot of videos out here where you got young black men and black women say, oh, I'm mixed ethnicity. I say mixed ethnicity. I'm biracial. And you're looking like, what? Where at? Look at The Rock. His father is what they consider black. His mother is what they consider Samoan. But can you tell? They cancel each other out because we're a part of each other. But we've allowed other people to tell us, no, you're not. This is why they always going to push that 12 and 13% number. This is why I have mixed feelings about inter-ethnic relationships. Because when you produce children, they're divided, they're confused. Remember when they was calling President Obama, he's biracial. But after a while, he became a nigger. If President Obama, Halle Berry, Alicia Keys never told you they had a white parent, what would they be called? A nigger. If George Lopez never talked with an accent and said his ancestors are family from Mexico, they would call him a Hindu. Look at him. Have y'all heard that interview where Eva Longoria said they used to call her some of the Spanish they call little dark ugly one because they consider her too dark? Then when she did that show with Professor Henry Gates about her ancestry, found out she got African DNA. We know it. How many people for years in the black community said that the first man and woman walked this planet was black, and it took scientists how many years to come out and admit that was something that we already knew was just common sense? Brothers and sisters, I want y'all to really think about who we are and what we are and why people hate us. Black men in particular, but black men and women have the ability to destroy another civilization if they wanted to, just by what's between their legs. Think about it. When they lynched black men, what was the first thing they did? They cut their penises off. White men held them in jars. Homosexual tendencies. Now, I know y'all gonna get mad at me for saying that, but why would I want to touch another man's penis? Souvenir, that's a twisted ass souvenir. Think about this shit, people. Why is they so obsessed with black male sexuality? Why are they so obsessed with seeing a black man on TV kissing another man? Why are they so obsessed with getting with our women? It's a method to their madness and we don't see it. Those of us who do see it, we're called paranoid. But guess what? Eventually, it comes back and we were right. I don't like to toot my horn, but most of the videos, if y'all been following me for a long time, y'all know I've been on point about a lot of my shit. Because I sit back and I watch people. I've gotten fucked over way too much not to be observant. You got people out here that claim to be white, but if you look at their characteristics, they passing. See, some of y'all need to get out y'all community. Some of y'all need to stop and watch. Do me a favor. Summer's coming up. When y'all go to the malls, start glancing at certain characteristics. Watch. Just watch. Trust me on this one. I'm not usually wrong on these things. I'm telling you, I can back this shit up. This is why I tell y'all, learn your history, control your dollar. Pick up a book. Go pick up a book on genetics. Read the Francis Crest, the Crest theory. What's the Nellie Fuller? Read these books. There's books out here. Dr. Clark, I believe Clark. Henry, I forget. Excuse me, I forget the names. But y'all seen some of their videos out here on YouTube. Y'all take advantage of what you have. Understand that we're the most despised people for a reason. Because what our genetics can do. How many of y'all know that even if you was to donate your organs to medical research or organ donation, that even if they found you have a blood match with a white person, their body can still reject the organs because of us producing melanin. They can't produce it. This is why they sit in the sun or go to suntan salons or get these spray-on tans to look like the people they hate. Penis implants, breast implants, butt implants, collagen in lips, cheekbones. They're cutting their hair like black women. One time, all you saw were white men with toupees. Now they're cutting their hair bald like black men. And then some of them, you look at them like, you have to say, wait a minute, is that a brother? Y'all got eyes, use them. Why y'all so hell-bent in just not being honest or just saying to yourself that, hey, I see this stuff. I've always noticed this. Ask yourself, why are we so hated? And then if you start listening to races, the first they're going to bring it back down is to sexuality and the fear that we're going to take over or do something to them. Remember, at one point, our people taught civilization. We was philosophers, we was doctors, scientists, musicians, poets, you name it. But they got you thinking that you was a slave. They got you thinking that anybody who looks similar to you are not related to you. How many of y'all know that karate was created by black folk? Or rice didn't come from Asia, came from Africa, like everything else on this planet. Why do people have a mad on for black people when we don't say anything? Really think about it. The black community's been extremely quiet the last 5 years. And I think we're going to pay for this. But why every politician seem to want to attack us? Why you think the new best friends on the right and left is the Latin community, the gay community, and the Jewish community? Well, the Jewish community always they got money. Just like these other two groups I just mentioned. Why is that we're disposable? Everybody use us, but at the same time, when you break it down and study, they come from us. Ultimate self-hatred. Think about it.